Why does something as simple as walking change almost every system inside the human body? 10,000 steps. It shows up on watches, apps, and fitness goals around the world. But the number itself isn't what's interesting. What's interesting is what happens inside the body. When that number becomes a daily habit, understanding what consistent daily walking does biologically reveals something important about how the human body was designed to function and why movement may be one of the most powerful health signals available. So what does the body actually do when walking becomes part of every single day? The human body is built for frequent movement, not occasional movement. Every system inside it, muscles, joints, circulation, metabolism, functions best when motion is steady and consistent. When walking becomes a daily habit, the body doesn't treat it as exercise in the traditional sense. It treats it as a signal that says, stay active, stay ready, stay efficient, and that signal triggers a cascade of changes. The first place those changes appear is in circulation. Walking raises the heart rate slightly, not dramatically, but consistently. This pushes blood more effectively through the body, delivering oxygen and nutrients to tissues and helping flush out metabolic waste. Unlike intense exercise, which delivers this effect in short bursts, walking spreads it across the entire day. The cardiovascular system isn't working at peak load, it's staying engaged. Over time, this steady demand supports cardiovascular efficiency. The heart doesn't need to work as hard to move blood. Blood vessels remain more flexible. Circulation becomes smoother. Research has also linked regular walking to reductions in resting blood pressure. The arteries respond to consistent low-level demand by becoming more pliable over time, a change that quietly reduces the workload on the heart with every beat. And one of the first things people notice when this happens isn't a change in appearance or athletic performance. It's energy. Not a spike, not a crash. A steady, more consistent level of energy throughout the day, because energy isn't just about sleep or nutrition, it's also about how well the body is circulating what it needs. But circulation is only one part of the story, because something else is shifting at the same time deep inside the body's metabolic system. Every single step requires energy. Individually, the demand is small, but across 10,000 steps, the total adds up. This increases daily energy expenditure, not dramatically, but consistently. And consistency is what triggers metabolic adaptation. The body begins using more fuel on a regular basis. Fat metabolism improves. Insulin sensitivity increases, meaning the body becomes more efficient at processing blood sugar. Blood glucose regulation becomes more stable. None of this happens because walking is extreme. It happens because walking is repeated. And repeated movement sends a clear message to the body's metabolic systems. Fuel processing needs to be efficient. The body adapts to meet that demand. There's also an effect on how the body handles glucose after meals. Studies suggest that walking within an hour of eating can blunt blood sugar spikes by helping muscles absorb glucose directly, a benefit that doesn't require a gym or any special equipment. This is one of the reasons researchers have found consistent walking to be associated with lower risks of metabolic conditions, not because of a single workout, but because of a daily pattern the body learns to operate within. There's another effect most people don't expect when they think about walking, and it has nothing to do with the legs. Walking has a measurable impact on the brain. As blood flow increases throughout the body, the brain receives more oxygen. Research suggests this can improve focus, sharpen thinking, and support short-term memory performance. But there's also a neurological effect that goes beyond circulation. Rhythmic, repetitive movement like walking has a calming influence on the nervous system. It helps regulate the body's stress response, reducing the output of stress hormones like cortisol. Mental fatigue decreases. Mood often improves. This is why many people report that their clearest thinking happens while they're walking. Problems that felt stuck begin to loosen. Ideas come more easily. The mental load feels lighter. It isn't coincidental. It's biological. Some research has also pointed to walking's role in supporting long-term brain health, with regular walkers showing slower rates of age-related cognitive decline compared to those with more sedentary lifestyles. The brain doesn't separate physical movement from cognitive performance. The two are deeply connected, and walking may be one of the simplest ways to engage that connection every day. Here's something that changes the way most people understand this goal entirely. Because the benefit of 10,000 steps isn't just about what walking adds, it's about what it removes. Extended periods of sitting are associated with reduced circulation, slower metabolism, increased muscle stiffness, and elevated markers of systemic inflammation. The body, when idle for long stretches, begins to operate at a lower baseline. Walking throughout the day interrupts that pattern. It breaks up extended inactivity before the body's systems start to slow down. This effect is known as reducing sedentary time, and researchers have found it to be one of the most impactful variables in long-term health, independent of whether someone also exercises at a gym or plays sport. In other words, a person who walks steadily throughout the day may experience meaningful health benefits even if they never do a formal workout. Walking keeps the body from drifting into a prolonged idle state. Joints stay mobile, muscles remain engaged, circulation keeps flowing, posture improves, the system stays calibrated. There's also an effect on lymphatic circulation that often goes unnoticed. Unlike the cardiovascular system, the lymphatic system has no pump. It relies almost entirely on body movement to keep fluid flowing. Walking provides exactly that, supporting immune function and reducing fluid buildup in ways that sitting simply cannot. The body wasn't built to exercise for 1 hour and then be still for 15. It was built to move frequently, repeatedly, throughout the day. 10,000 steps is simply a structured way of giving it that. So what does this mean over a longer timeline? The changes describe better circulation, improved metabolic efficiency, clearer cognition, less sedentary time don't produce dramatic results overnight, but compounded across weeks, months, and years, the research tells a different story. Studies on longevity consistently show that daily movement patterns are among the strongest predictors of health span, not just how long someone lives, but how well they function as they age. This connection makes evolutionary sense. The human body evolved over hundreds of thousands of years in an environment that required daily movement to survive. Gathering food, covering ground, maintaining a campsite. The body's systems adapted to function within that context. Modern life removed that requirement, but the biology didn't change. The body still expects movement. When it doesn't receive it consistently, systems that were designed to stay active begin to underperform. Not dramatically at first, but gradually, over time. 10,000 steps is, in many ways, an attempt to restore what the body was already expecting. There's also a muscular component worth noting. Walking activates the legs, hips, and core not at maximum capacity, but repeatedly. This repeated engagement helps maintain functional strength, supports joint stability, and preserves the kind of physical capability used in everyday life. Research also points to improvements in balance and coordination among regular walkers, particularly as people age, reducing the risk of falls and the injuries associated with them. Even recovery from other forms of exercise can be supported by walking. Its low-impact nature means it promotes blood flow without adding stress, helping deliver nutrients to muscles and clear metabolic waste more efficiently after harder efforts. None of these benefits require a high fitness level. They don't require equipment, a gym membership, or athletic ability. They require consistency, and consistency is something any body can do. So what actually happens when someone walks 10,000 steps a day? Circulation improves, the cardiovascular system operates more efficiently, metabolism becomes more active and better regulated, brain function sharpens, stress hormones decrease, muscles and joints stay engaged. Inactivity is reduced, and with it, many of the slow changes that come from a body that has stopped moving. None of these changes are dramatic on their own, but together, they shift how the body functions at its baseline. And that shift is the real effect. The body doesn't need extreme inputs to maintain its health. It needs consistent ones. Walking simple, repeatable, accessible delivers that consistency in a way almost nothing else can match. Not because it pushes the body beyond what it can handle, but because it keeps the body doing exactly what it was built to do: move, every day. Because when that movement disappears, the body responds very differently.